we've got the series finale coming up for you here from Chicago this afternoon. It's the Pirates and the Cubs here from iconic Wrigley Field. And the Pirates dealt defeat the first two games. Look to try to snatch one before they head on out to the desert and take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. And welcome into the booth. Joe Block and Bob Walk with you here today as the Pirates back in action, and they are maybe missing one of their key cogs, is Francisco Cervelli having to leave the game yesterday because of injury, and we'll see how he's doing right now, as he may not be available right now today.
Yeah, his importance to this team's offense has been huge this year. Here you're going to see him take that hit up kind of in the jaw area, maybe back a little bit by where his ear is. It actually bounced off his shoulder, his chest protector, and went up and caught him. You know, he was able to stay in the game for a little while, but eventually came out of it, and they're just going to watch him for a little bit. So at the time being, they've gone to 3 catchers.
That was a look at our Allegheny Health Network injury update, and the good news for Ivan Nova, he's back and off the disabled list today. The Pirates bringing up Jacob Stallings for Cervelli, and for Nova, Nick Kingham being optioned.
It's going to be interesting to see exactly what Nova is going to do. You know, he was very rough there toward the end, and how did the finger affect all that? If that was the big problem and it now feels good to him, we should get the old Ivan Nova back out there this afternoon.
Yeah, because he was very good in the month of April. We'll see how he responds here when June begins for him. And next I'll have a chat with Pirates beat writer Adam Berry from MLB.com. The Pirates and the Cubs coming up in a bit here from Chicago. As Ivan Nova slides into his spot in the rotation today. The Pirates and the Cubs coming up a bit here from Wrigley Field in Chicago. And welcome back into the booth. Joe Block along with Adam Berry of MLB.com, and talking some Pirates here before we get started today. And first about Francisco Cervelli, who is not in the lineup today. Yesterday having that the ball go off the side of his face. And talk about his impact so far this year, and not only at the plate but behind it, and what that would mean if he's not available.
Yeah, I think you can make the argument he's been their most valuable player this season, both for what he has done at the plate, the power that he's shown, really the most power he's shown in his career, already a career-high home run total, and then just the work that he's done behind the plate, guiding sort of a young staff through some injuries and some ups and downs that the pitching staff, especially the rotation, has shown. So it would be a pretty significant impact if he does miss time. Elias Diaz has also had a very strong year so far, so they do have a capable backup in place. Jacob Stallings is here in case something does happen with Diaz and they need a backup catcher, but you would feel Cervelli's absence if he is out for any extended period of time. For now, they're saying he's day-to-day, so we'll see where it takes us.
No, you just moved into that cleanup role for the Pirates. Back out on the mound today, Ivan Nova, so they are getting healthier in that regard. And which Nova will we see? Because in April he was awfully good, but then in May maybe the injury affected him some.
I think has said that in the past. It was the last start of April that he did experience the finger injury while fielding a ground ball, and it affected his off-speed stuff as much as anything. The changeup he wasn't able to get full extension on. The curveball location suffered, and you saw the numbers really took a dip in May. It was a 7.61 ERA. That's not the guy you saw in April. He looked a little bit more like the 2017 April Ivan Nova the first month of the season. So they need him to get back on track, provide consistent innings in the rotation, and a little bit of leadership as well, because we've seen what he can do when he is healthy, when he is right, and you just did not see that in May. And I think they're hoping, there's no great way to test it except for getting him back out on the mound, so they'll see what he's like today.
Yeah, and to make room for Nova, Nick Kingham was optioned. He's pitched well, so Nova trying to slide back in and do the same for the Pirates. And another rotation that they've had has been in the outfield so far this year. 4 guys that they've been using the last 3 weeks or so, and today Marte sits, Meadows stays in there. And what do you make of how they've been handling that?
They've been pretty consistent with the way that they've planned this all out. We've heard about the way they've wanted to monitor Corey Dickerson's innings in the outfield really since the start of the season. He's never started more than 98 games in the outfield in a year, so they're going to monitor that. They think he can play more than that, but they don't want to wear him out early on. You did see that he struggled in the second half last year as well. Marte's coming off an oblique injury not too long ago, so they're going to be careful with how often they play him. Gregory Polanco's had his ups and downs and struggled, especially against left-handed pitching, so they're going to kind of pick their spots with him as they work to get him back on track offensively. And it's kind of hard to take Austin Meadows out of the lineup right now with the way that he is earning playing time. He's hitting right-handers and left-handers. You can't really take him out. He can play all 3 outfield spots, so it does provide some versatility as they do monitor Dickerson's workload, Polanco's slump, and just sort of Marte's injury recovery.
And you think about what Marte's career numbers are against Kyle Hendricks. Makes sense maybe to limit him out of the lineup here today. And finally, Josh Bell, who has been moved down in the order, and trying to figure out what he is, because last year so good, but this year really still trying to find that Bell that he was a year ago.
Yeah, I think we all kind of expected a little bit more from Josh Bell coming out of the chute this season. He certainly said, he expected to hit 300. He did not expect the power he showed last year, but you did expect to see a little bit more of a complete hitter this season, and so far he's just sort of been disconnected. He was solid in May. This has been a rough month for him so far. He has said that his swing is disconnected, his upper body and lower body just not all on track and on sync at the same time at the plate. So they have done the thing that they've done before with struggling hitters, moved him down in the order, trying to get him back on track that way, because they do need this guy to be a productive hitter, preferably back in the cleanup spot at some point later this season.
Yeah, one thing they haven't done is give him a day off yet. He's back in the lineup today against Kyle Hendricks. Adam, thanks again for joining us here on Pirates Pregame today. And coming up, we'll preview today's action with the Cubs starter, Kyle Hendricks, a former ERA champion. He'll go for Chicago here today against the Pirates. He'll look to try to take one game of this series. Pirates and Cubs coming up next right here on AT&T Sportsnet. precipitation is expected. I think at least on and off throughout the afternoon today. We've been able to avoid it the first 2 games of this series, but pitchers have warmed up in those bullpens underneath the bleachers in the outfield. Kyle Hendricks is getting ready, and he has been doing so well again this year, healthy, back and healthy again this year, and been very difficult for the Pirates to solve him, not just this year, but really over the last few years as he's ascended to one of the game's better pitchers.
Yeah, he certainly has considered that. His ERA, I think there's only 4 guys that in all of baseball that have a lower career ERA after 100 starts. So it is a a tough task. He's not the typical guy that you would think of when you're thinking of the stuff of a great low ERA pitcher. He does a lot of work with a subpar fastball and a great changeup, and that's basically his style. He throws the ball where he wants to and tries to get that soft contact.
Well, last time around, though, against the Phillies, gave up 5 runs. Though against the Pirates, last 3 years, really, they haven't been able to solve them very much.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's going to be a tough go today, especially after we saw in yesterday's ball game. The bats just aren't clicking here in Chicago yet. Who knows? Maybe that's kind of the situation you need. Just a real good pitcher you haven't hit before. Maybe that's the answer. I don't know.
Let's see if the Bucks bats can get going. Series finale from Wrigley coming up next here on AT&T Sportsnet.
Military appreciation and use hashtag HatsOffForHeroes. T-Mobile will donate $1 for each post. And by the law firm of Bordas & Bordas. Bordas & Bordas, fighting for justice. Let's go Bucks!
Yeah, a little light rain falling, but we should still start on time today. Baseball, Pirates, Cubs, series finale coming up. Ivan Nova back off the DL today. Healthy and ready to go for the Buccos, who had just 1 hit yesterday, but have pitched well in this series against a hot Cubs offense. Limiting the Cubs to 5 runs over the 2 games. The Pirates, though, have only scored once.
Yeah, that's it's. I don't know if you agree with this or not, but it's been a different issue constantly, and it seems like sometimes people want to say, well, this is what we need to fix. This is it's, to me, I don't think you can do that.
Yeah.
I can't say, well, it's the bullpen. Well, some games it's been the bullpen, but some games they've done a great job. Same thing with the starting rotation. At times they haven't pitched well, at other times they have. And, and yesterday, well, we got one hit. We got shut out on one hit. So in that particular game, man, it was the offense. It's been something different constantly through these last 3 weeks when the Pirates have been losing series and not being able to put anything together. And that is what was working so well, back in April and May was, they were able to put some things together, and it was the whole club, everybody pulling a different hero or heroes every single game. And the explanation of why that comes and goes, I don't know. It's ingrained in the sport of baseball, and I've said it for years. It's why you have to play for 6 months to because all these ups and downs. The best teams, at the end of the 6 months, well, they rise to the top, and so they go through these things.
And now the RAV4 lineup for the visiting Pirates. Josh Harrison back atop the order with Meadows and then Corey Dickerson batting third. Colin Moran in the highest spot he's ever batted in his brief career. Elias Diaz doing the catching. Bell and Polanco 6 and 7 with Mercer batting 8th in front of Ivan Nova. And the kids taking the field on Sundays here in Chicago, just like they do at PNC Park. Get an autograph. Head back to their seats. And Kyle Hendricks, the starter for the Cubs today.
Yeah, there you see the numbers. He really pitches well here at Wrigley. I mean, you don't really think of this place as a pitcher's ballpark, but when he's on the mound, it certainly is. He has a very low home ERA. Heck, his lifetime ERA, I was talking about that earlier, is just a little bit above 3. He is a tough customer, but if you're standing out by the bullpen and you're watching him warm up, you're not all that impressed. He does not throw hard, and doesn't have like a real nasty slider or anything like that. Really, his best pitch is the command of that changeup that he has.
And he usually uses his defense behind him, and the Honda defense for the Cubs. Javier Baez back in the lineup at second with Russell as double play partner. Brian Rizzo, of course, on the corner. Schwarber, Happ, and Hayward around the outfield left to right. Chris Jimenez, veteran backup catcher, made his Cubs debut against the Pirates a few weeks ago. He's the backup to Contreras. Gets the start today for the Cubs, who are looking for a sweep. Pirates look to take a victory and then head out to the desert and try to keep that going. Josh Harrison, an excused absence yesterday. Back with the club, back in the lineup atop this batting order for Clint Hurdle's Buccos. 290 now. Trying to keep him healthy too.
Yeah, you can see he's already got a banged up ankle. And here comes that changeup inside. Oh, it got up above the ankle, up on the shin. That's why it hurt so much.
Can only have so much armor.
Line drive off your shins, what that was.
You ever bump into the coffee table? Think about having a ball coming in at 90 miles an hour.
Think about bumping into the coffee table when you were at a dead run as fast as you could go.
Yet a couple seconds later, right back at it. Worry about it later. There goes Souvenir right off the bat. Well, after the toss, of course. 1-2 to start. Pirates got one hit yesterday. It was a Meadows triple in the third inning. Did not reach base after that against Lester and the Cubs pen. Pirates in the series got off to a good start. They scored a first inning run and had a lead. back on Friday afternoon. That is the run that they've scored in the series, though. We saw that outburst in the final home series, though. We were talking about the same thing. This quiet offense, and then they jump out about 18 runs, I think, in 2 games. So.
And then we couldn't get anybody out. So, I mean, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. It's always something going wrong in this last 3 weeks where we've been losing series after series.
But to say, there's something going on there, but there's something going right, which kind of makes it frustrating because more than half the losses have been 1 or 2 runs.
Got an excellent start from Kingham yesterday.
That one hit well to left. Schwarber toward the ivy, and there it goes. A great start for the Buccos here today. Josh Harrison with a leadoff home run.
Well, he kept fighting him. That was 8-pitch at bat. All those foul balls, one off his leg.
Third home run for Jay. Pirates have a quick 1-0 lead.
Now, since his first appearance in that Pirate uniform years ago, he's always been a spark plug, a guy that can get things going in a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's the running of the bases. In this case, he puts one into the seats to start the game.
And 7th career leadoff home run, second this year. That's exactly what the Pirates needed. Being in the doldrums offensively, they've got to run first batter in. Love that sound. Meadows doesn't get all of it. Moises Alou over toward the wall there, but the fan got in. Wait, I'm sorry, that was Kyle Schwarber. Referencing the 2003 League Championship Series.
Well, I hit him in the foot.
If he'd had another step, he would have been able to get there. That's about the only place where the fan and the fielder can interchange now. No more foul territory really down the lines once you get beyond that spot. Meadows gets new life, down 0-2. Same result, just about.
Like it was pretty much the same pitch in the same spot. And they hit it the same.
That's the first out. Josh Harrison talking it over.
See, that's. Remember when Jay was on the DL, that's the kind of stuff you miss, because when you're on the DL you don't have the animated discussions with everybody in that dugout that he always has when he's playing. I mean, right there he's talking to Jeff Branson. He'll move over. Oh, yeah, I knew he was going to move and talk to somebody else, and that's one of the things that he brings to that dugout, that energy, the excitement. That when he's not involved in the game, it's hard for him to get going. And I'm sure that when he was on the DL, he would try, but you're not playing. You're just kind of, sitting back there. I mean, he'll be on his feet, walking back and forth, talking to everybody, the entire 9 innings.
And I'm sure when a player's on the DL, they probably don't want to speak up as much because they're not able to contribute at that particular time, right?
Yeah, you kind of feel like, I'm not even out there. Why should I put my 2 cents into this? Now that's not always, but it does happen.
Two strikes on Dickerson. That's never been a problem for him. 321 overall, 6th best in the league. And with 2 strikes, he leads the National League. I think at 282 after 2 strikes are on him. Chokes up. I think that would be a good approach against Hendricks. The way that he changes speeds to be able to choke up like that.
Yep. Yeah, Hendricks feeds off guys that have the big swings that, you know, constantly trying to hit the ball out on the street.
Pirates don't really have a lot of guys with that approach. Fewest strikeouts as a team in the National League.
That's about as wild of a pitch I've ever seen Hendricks throw. I mean, that you can see where it hit out there in front of home plate.
That's so much spin on it.
That's about 4 feet front of home plate where that ball hit.
Happ was playing deep, and Schwarber able to get there.
Schwarber not known for his defense in the outfield.
A little bit more nimble than before, but yeah, he's still not quite there. Fog in the area. Chilly temperatures. It is damp feeling. Wind a light breeze.
Very humid out. See that? Look at that.
But because it's 65 degrees, it has that kind of almost, you know, chilly. What did you say? Like kind of like a late November in Pittsburgh, you know, kind of feel to it. Not quite that cold, but yeah, that same kind of dampness or chilly.
Do see leaves on the trees, though.
Yeah. The pear trees still have a few at that time of year. So Colin Moran, the highest place he's ever batted. He's the cleanup man today with Cervelli not in the lineup. Glenn Hurdle characterizing Cervelli as day-to-day, still undergoing evaluation. But the Pirates calling up Jacob Stallings today, so they do have a catcher beside Elias Diaz. But they do not have, there's Stallings. They don't have Adam Frazier. He was optioned to make room for Stallings.
Until Cervelli is okayed, you still, as long as he's active on the roster, you're playing a man short.
Assuming he is unavailable today, which, you know, after having to come out of the game yesterday and having to continue to be evaluated.
Well, you don't go to 3 catchers because he's, he's
well,
okay.
right. Yeah. 1 + 1 equals 2. And DeNova will throw to Diaz today. He was there on deck, hoping he gets a chance. Full count now on Moran. 22 pitch first inning.
Yeah, I was just going to say this. Gives him a little bit of a workout here in the first inning.
And gets a call on a very borderline strike. But the Pirates score first on the Josh Harrison home run.
You know, I'll watch little mannerisms in him and his delivery and stuff, but the mindset is the main thing.
Welcome back to Wrigley Field. I'm Robbie. It's Mikowski, and that was pitching coach Ray Sears talking about what he was going to keep his eye on in terms of Ivan Nova in his first start since returning to the disabled list. A few things to keep in mind. Number one, the injury he was dealing with was a finger issue. So all the conditioning stuff he was able to do on the 4 days between starts when a starting pitcher does not pitch, he was able to do just fine. He's obviously a veteran guy. He knows his stuff. And the last thing, Joe, that Clint Hurdle noted was the sharpness and the crispness of his pitches in the bullpens he was throwing as he was headed toward a return. So we'll see how everything shakes out for Nova this afternoon. But being a veteran guy, I don't think mindset is going to be at the top of the list of things they have to worry about with this guy.
No, not at all. And thanks for that, Robbie. Elias Diaz will be doing the catching for him this afternoon. Javier Baez is going to be taking rips to.
What I'd like to see is like a 9-pitch 1-2-3 inning, and that yeah, he's just fine because that's him.
Yeah, last year the fewest pitches per inning of any starter. We saw the home run ball start to escalate, and I think if I look back at the charts, I couldn't really tell, but from my memory, it seemed like his pitches were up a little bit more as the month went on in May. And I would imagine if you're trying to spin a breaking ball, or maybe with the changeup, he said the finger affecting those pitches with him. I mean, sometimes maybe that could play a role in that.
If it was one of the other two fingers, I mean, I've had experience with that, but ring finger, I don't really, because that's not one you really use a whole lot. So it just, like on the curveball, it'll just kind of lay there.
Here's the Cubs lineup today. Baez followed by Jason Hayward, then Chris Bryant hitting third today after leading off the first 2 games of the series. Rizzo with 44 RBIs. Happ and Schwarber, Russell and Jimenez, the 8-hitter in front of Kyle Hendricks.
But the curveball is all about your middle finger. That's the main thing that you got to have if you're going to throw a good curveball. The index finger, you actually kind of lift that up off the baseball a little bit. Some guys even lift it way up to where you can see it. And then your ring finger just kind of laying along the side of the ball.
Change of pace. Trying to test it all out here early. Makes you wonder how the former Cub pitcher Mordecai Brown did it. With 3 fingers. 100-some years ago.
Which one was he missing?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe the pinky. Yeah.
Now there was a guy that pitched a teammate with Rocks in Miami that had 6 fingers.
Antonio Alfonseca. There was another pitcher who was briefly a Pirate, Frankelis Osoria, who had a 6th digit, but it was removed before he got to the major leagues. Maybe you could really get to some movement on that. It's fascinating, right? I mean, you know, you can't underestimate how just different pressures by each finger, or different grips can affect the movement of the ball.
It's all about the spin. The ball moves different directions because of the spin on the ball, how it's spinning, what direction the ball is spinning, how fast it's spinning, is it spinning at all? I mean, all of that affects the flight.
Shattered bat.
10 pitches.
And pretty much got your wish, Bob.
Yep.
Nice tidy 1-2-3 inning in Ivan Nova's return to the mound. home run. And the rain has stopped. Dreary and cool and foggy. But we're at a ball yard. We got baseball for you, and that's all that matters. Pirates have a lead. Nice answer by Nova, too. You know, the Pirates, when they had the lead on Friday, right after that, they gave up 2 runs, were behind, and had to play from behind. So finally in this series, they keep a lead for an inning. They didn't score yesterday. So.
And Nova did what we were hoping. Pitch to contact, get out of there real quick, keep the pitches to a minimum. That's his style when he's pitching well, and that's what he showed us right away in the first inning.
Elias Diaz in there. He has done very well in his few times he started. The ball stayed down. See, they hit the grass. It just didn't hop anymore once it hit that grass. That got a little extra water on it from the rain after they had already removed the tarp.
Always think it's funny when it's raining, but they still go out there with the hose and water the infield. They did it again today. They went out there, got the hose, watered the whole infield down.
For uniformity, I suppose. Now Starling Marte in the lineup today. His career numbers against Hendricks is 3 for 21. Of course, yesterday slipping on the grass and opened the inning up for the 2 runs. But look, you don't score, you get 1 hit, probably shouldn't win the game.
No, that I mean, you can point to that play as being the difference, but that really wasn't why they lost.
Cubs
they lost because they couldn't score any runs.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
So you can't really blame it all on Marte. And hey, he tried to come to a stop, and the grass was a little slick out there. He fell down.
Yeah, he found his seat before the ball found his glove.
Stuff happens.
Yeah. And Bell's going to work the walk.
Oh, I'm liking this so far with it. Hendricks doesn't seem to be
just a touch off.
Doesn't seem to have the command that we have seen in the past, or that he normally has against just about everybody. He's just missing, and to the Pirates' credit, they're being a little patient. They're not chasing. That's how a lot of guys, pitchers, they make their living on you hitting their pitches that aren't quite in the strike zone.
Polanco's had good success against Hendricks lifetime. He's hit a pair of home runs. .71 on the slow curve. It's coughing on its way to the plate.
Yep, big slow hook. It's not really a sharp break. It's the lack of speed that fools the hitter more than anything else.
That's a pitch that Hendricks said he was toying around with in spring training with Mike Montgomery, another one of the Cubs pitchers, and started to throw it a little bit more. Found a new grip on his curve, and really doesn't use it all that often, but it has tried to implement it when other things aren't working on some of those starts, which hasn't happened to him all that often this year.
What is going on? I mean, he looked in for the sign for about 15 seconds. And then he stepped off.
And Polanco
It worked.
grounds into the inning-ending double play. Through an inning and a half, Pirates still lead 1-0.
Sportsnet is brought to you by Barrel Automotive. Our service centers are now open evenings and weekends. Visit barrelservice.com for more. And by Allegheny Health Network, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates and fans like you. Let's go Bucks!
Anthony Rizzo will lead it off for Chicago. Pirates own the advantage. Trying to flatten out the Cubs here in the finale.
They've handled Rizzo the first couple of games.
He's without a hit in the series. 0 for 6. A couple of sac flies. 3 strikeouts. He came in red hot. This Cubs offense over the past 5 weeks or so averaging about 5.5 runs a game. Pirates have to feel good about limiting them to just 5 runs so far in the series, but finding themselves on the wrong side of the ledger both times. Chili Davis, the hitting coach. Now 3-1 on Rizzo. Always dangerous. Got the call.
Yeah. Threw that ball out there where there's a few others and got it called a strike.
Yeah, it started off on the outer edge and then moved off as it arrived. The Latrobe native Jansen Visconti, the call-up umpire. Behind the plate today, Joe West, the crew chief at first. Chad Fairchild, Doug Eddings at second and third, respectively. The umpires.
Ended up walking him anyway after he got the call.
A rare walk from Nova. Now Ian Happ. He's made his mark on the series. back in the opener Friday afternoon.
Made a lot of marks in left field grass.
3 diving catches, the last of which seemed improbable to say the least, and robbed Josh Harrison of extra bases and robbed the Pirates of a chance of maybe with one more hit at least tie the game, and maybe even a shot of Harrison scoring on that play if it got stuck out there in the corner with a man on, down 2 in the 9th with 2 outs. Instead, ended the game.
Well, the Cubs have won 2 close games, haven't used their closer yet. They decided to rest him 2 days in a row after I guess he had pitched 2 days in a row.
Yeah, 2 20+ pitch outings for Brandon Morrow prior. I mean, that's a nice luxury. The Cubs.
Yeah, they got saved from Strop and
Cechek yesterday.
Oh yeah, it was Cechek yesterday. I'm trying to think who it was. The side armor.
The Cubs have had one of the best bullpens all year long, and that depth has helped them. They had 3 of their top 4 guys unavailable on Friday and still used a couple of rookies to bridge the gap. Talking about what Happ did on Friday, judge for yourself. Coming a long way to snare that one. Going back on another ball, and this is the one that really opened our eyes. I mean, he had to go on a dead sprint. You see, if that ball gets away, Strop and the Cubs are in a mess, but instead spoiling a chance. I think the newly reconfigured dugouts there helping the Pirates there.
The rain tarp, I think, is what.
Yeah.
They hit the end of the tarp and kept it. That tarp wasn't there, then that's going to be trouble.
It used to be a little farther down. The stands are closer than they were. And just thuds right there, and no big deal. Usually, someone would be down in the bullpen picking up a folding chair down there, be clanging around underneath. In on his hands.
He was trying to put that ball. Did a good job with it.
Good zip too at 95. Been consistently around 94 with the fastball today. Looks fresh. Did you ever have a time in the middle of the season where maybe you had a couple of weeks down and how did you feel after that?
Almost every year. It felt great. I wasn't I mean, I did it a couple of times, get 32 starts, but I wasn't what you would call a horse innings guy. So when I had to go on the DL for a couple of weeks, it always, I thought, rejuvenated my arm. Felt strong.
Nice curveball to strike out Happ. Fell off the table.
Yeah, that one. Compare that curveball to that big, the slow rolling type, and they're really 2 different pitches. I mean, that you're getting a swing and miss. The lack of speed helps, but it's that falling off the table, good bite to it. The slow rollers, you're trying to get the hitter way out in front.
And the hitters that can really have that good vision, can't you see it coming? Sometimes you see that little hump coming out of their hands, but that one, it didn't. It can kind of come out straight, right from the hand. It looks like any other pitch.
Yeah, the harder you throw it, the straighter you can. You don't have to put it up on that departure angle to where it's going to drop.
When it's launched from the fingers, that angle.
Yeah, when you're throwing it at 70 miles an hour, you got to start it a lot higher. It's going to leave your hand looking like you're throwing it over everybody's head.
Diaz puts down the sign. Missed in, 2-1. Rizzo walked to lead off the inning. He's there with 1 out. Another changeup from Nova. He's thrown about a half dozen of those today.
I think we're seeing a little bit bigger split between the fastball and all the off-speed pitches. Not quite as fastball heavy as we've seen in the past.
Yeah, he's been one of the most fastball dominant pitchers. Right back to it. 3 strikeouts for Nova.
There you go. What's working?
He's got a lot of movement. A lot of late movement. That the curveball earlier. Off-speed offerings with some dance to them. Fastball's got added velocity. When Nova's right, and last year there wasn't enough of it. This year it started to go wayward in May, but when he's right and when he's at his best, you can put him up against anybody. Now we saw that in last April. We saw it this April to some degree. And he'll get out of the inning after the leadoff walk. Stranding Rizzo and the Cubs. Pirates still lead 1-0. And the first 20,000 fans through the gates take home a Pirates t-shirt thanks to Sheets, and it's a $1 dog night presented by Sugardale. So get your tickets at pirates.com/free shirt Friday. Trevor Williams, our model. Torn allegiances. Don't see that very often. Well, his head says Pirates.
So any thinking man would.
Right. Yeah. Jordy Mercer will start it off.
That was interesting that Nova, we're talking about, he looks pretty good right now. Everything's a little bit better. Velocity, the off-speed pitcher's looking good, and he made a defensive play. That was something that was really getting to be an issue with him. It cost him a couple of games. There was one game in particular, remember, where he dropped that throw over at first base. Ended up giving up a couple of runs he wouldn't have otherwise.
Now he's made 3 errors, which is tied for the most defensively for pitchers.
So I think the time off, like you were asking me, it's good for any pitcher. There's the rare guys, I guess, that at least they'll say, "Oh no, I want to every 5th day, never want any time off."
Line to Happ. Mercer yesterday. Now that ball wasn't hit as hard, but Mercer really stung the ball 2 or 3 times yesterday and got nothing to show for it. And fairly well hit ball there. Now, if Nova's really,
he gets a hit here.
Yeah, if he's really feeling it. Look at his first hit since last May. And I don't mean last month, I mean the year before. He's 0 for his last 48 at the plate.
Looks like he should be able to hit a little bit, the way he stands up there, but usually that front foot gives him away. He's step in the bucket.
It doesn't help when Hendricks gets a call like that. Five for 112 in his career. Yeah, trying to be encouraging. Jacob Stallings on the right, joining the rest of the pitching staff, trying to learn on the fly. Just called back up today. Hasn't been with the club since spring training. Nova should get another turn today. Josh Harrison leading off the ball game with a home run. Look at our Barrel Automotive Pirates team leaders and all-time leadoff home runs in Pirates history. Barry Bonds #1. Al Martin on the list. And then, of course, McCutcheon when he was the leadoff man for a while there. Beetle Bob Bailey. Recently lost him. Another very good hitter. A name from Pirates lore. And that means leading off the game. So starting the ball game with a home run.
Bonds, it surprised me he's got 20. I didn't remember him hitting leadoff. I mean, I know he was a leadoff guy when he first made the big leagues, but it didn't take him that long to say, okay, well, maybe that first year, and then he was back in the lineup. He hit 5th most of the time, I think.
And you get what was it, 762?
Should have hit him 2nd, I guess.
Yeah,
that's
today's methodology.
But they hit him 5th, and it seemed to work out.
Well, he's the second or something.
But still, 20 times leading off the game with a home run. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, if you were to ask me who would have it, I don't know if I had an answer for you. Josh Harrison is 2 for 2. Well, he's had Hendricks figured out through the years. Now 11 for 23 with 3 homers against him.
Fastball that was supposed to be outside and came over the inside half the plate, really right in the middle of the plate. Hendricks just doesn't have the control that we've seen from him in the past.
And because of his stuff, right? I mean, he has to rely on that more than others.
Oh, yeah, big time. It's all about just living on the edge. Left, right, up, down. And not just with the fastball. I mean, he has to have command of that changeup as well.
I mean, when he's right, you'll see him run little two-seamers that break over the edge of the plate, come back and just move a couple of inches, become strikes. Or
I mean, most of the time, all he throws is fastball, changeup. I mean, maybe 1 out of 10 pitches will be something other than those two.
Meadows tripled yesterday. Since he came up to the major leagues, there are 10 major league players that have a better OPS than Meadows. Still being able to get ahead today. Pirates have had a lot of 2-strike counts. It's taken him a while to finish off those hitters when he has.
It seems like he's working at a very slow pace today also. I don't know if that means he's taking extra time to think about what he's doing, that he's not feeling the good control. He's taking a very long time in between pitches.
His teammates will tell you that he's a cerebral pitcher, smart guy who's trying to. But he does usually work in a rhythm. He's usually more confident and knows what the next move is.
It's like when he gets the ball back from the catcher, he takes a little walk with it.
And make sure he's quick home.
Change up.
He's working at a pace now that may be illegal next year. 23 seconds right there between the previous 2 pitches.
You can see now he's just now looking in for the sign. I mean, it's really taking him a long time to get where he even looks to the catcher.
He's going to be over 20 this time too. The time was called. Meadows likely asking for time and
Hendricks, he's sat in the stretch for so long. Once he finally got in the stretch, he just stood there. So, and that's a lot of times umpire won't give you timeout when you ask, but when the pitcher's just sitting in the stretch for.
Harrison got a huge jump. Don't even throw. Yeah, easy steal for Josh Harrison. It looked like he took 3 steps and got there. He got such a good move. Look at that.
No contest. Won't even make a throw.
Jimenez knew better. Stolen base number 2.
He is the spark plug.
Now a 2-out hit. Double the advantage. Getting Meadows to chase. The man stranded. Ballpark app. You can access and manage your tickets, enjoy check-in offers, exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. Look outside Wrigley Field.
I mean, that fog is really dropping. Saw the 3 base umpires with Joe West get together. They were talking out there and looking up at the sky. I mean, you can actually see where it's starting to obscure the lights a little bit.
Last night the fog had rolled in so thickly that now remember we weren't playing baseball, but you could not see the bleachers very well from this vantage point. So it's not that thick now, but it's not supposed to burn off today. So let's keep our eyes on it.
The buildings that normally are just, they look like they're right on top of you. You can barely make out the closest ones now.
Moran, a busy guy today. It's Jimenez.
Speaking of the high rises, not the ones that are right, little 3-story ones that have the seats on top of them.
Nothing exists beyond Wrigley Field.
No.
Looks photoshopped. Yeah, that's a few blocks from here.
One of the high rises. Not much view from the top floor today.
I pay how much in rent?
Rent's cheap around here.
He can still see.
Like he was two-fisted.
Well, that fog might roll in for him a little sooner than the rest. And Hendricks called out on strikes. 4 strikeouts for Nova. He allowed a leadoff walk to Rizzo in the second. That's been it so far.
That's what the Pirates were hoping for. To this point, still very early in the ball game, but he looks just like you know, you were talking about when he's on and when he's pitching well. That's how he looks right now.
Nova in March and April, 3.32 ERA in those 6 starts, and hey, if he gave you that for the year, fantastic. That would be just great. Let's take that. The ERA soared to more than 7.5 in May, and you know, he said that finger bothered him for a while, and whether it had any correlation with the lack of success or not, only Nova could know, but certainly the two hand in hand, and now getting a little break. Maybe he's more April-like.
Well, that's that pitch right there. That's Ivan Nova when he's pitching well. Good velocity at 94, and just center punches the glove.
And gets some wild throw. Wow, didn't expect that. A rare miscue there on the throw from Josh Harrison. Will be assessed an error.
How wild was this throw? Yeah. From that angle, very wild.
I mean, Bell looked like he had to come toward the ball and off the bag.
I was just wondering if he had stepped too soon. You know,
I think maybe both things would be true, but the throw was not going to come to the bag. His first error all year for Josh Harrison. Don't you think?
yeah, the throw wouldn't come into the bag. That's
Right.
kind of what I meant by that.
Yeah.
If you step like the throw's coming to the bag and then it doesn't,
Yes.
you know,
then he's stuck.
now you have to leave the bag to go get it. Whereas if it's just a wide throw and you step wide to begin with, you might be able to keep your foot on the bag. I wanted to see the replay to see which was the case there.
is tasked with Jason Hayward. Okay, here's a better angle, right?
It looked like he did kind of step straight ahead, but the throw was far enough off that they had no choice. He had to go get it, keep it from going toward the dugout.
Nova quickly ahead, 0-2. Now Harrison's the reason the Pirates have the lead with the leadoff home run. He has both the Pirates hits. She caught that.
That's way back underneath the roof and the upper deck here. I don't expect to get a foul ball way back up underneath there.
Yeah.
Somehow it happened.
Reynolds has to play it on a hop. With 2 outs, Baez can streak to third. And the Cubs are going to try to take advantage of that error.
Yeah, the inning should have been over. I was a little worried about this bounce, you know, that wet grass out there. And the Meadows did the smart thing. If he tries to throw that ball to third base, you know, the ball's going to be wet. It could slip out of his hand. The chances of throwing out Baez are not very good anyway. And then Hayward is just going to cruise on in the second. So, threw the ball to second base. Make sure that the Cubbies just have 1 runner in scoring position. Meadows seems like a pretty smart player, besides his obvious athletic talent.
I'll agree on that for sure. I got to face Chris Bryant. Good stop by Diaz. First pitch curveball. Bryant, who has always hit the Pirates. And he hits everybody, but especially the Pirates. 364 lifetime against Pittsburgh in his career. Start him off curve and then a changeup, both low.
One of those young players that came up and was fantastic right from the start.
He did not hit a home run his first 20 games and is now on a 21-game homerless streak, the longest of his career. But he stepped right in and was en route to being an all-star and an MVP right away. I mean, you know, a lot of guys, it take them 3-4 years to just kind of, okay, now we're starting to see that potential. I mean,
that's what that's the normal progression. Is
drove in 99 runs as a rookie. Tailing toward the seats, and it's out of play.
I wonder what this fog is, you know, because the background, it's actually lifting up a little bit right now and getting a little brighter. What's that doing to the outfielders as they're trying to track that baseball as it's traveling across there?
Well, when you look up into that sky, I would imagine the ball is probably a very similar color to the sky.
Yeah, you would think you don't want to take your eye off of it. You know, see it, run to a spot, and then look back up. You look back up, you might not find it again right away.
Big spot here after the 2-out error. Hayward singled. And at the corners for Chris Bryant. And he struck him out. Well, Nova gets out of it, preserving the lead. Pirates stay ahead 1-0.
For the Toyota all-wheel drive RAV4th inning. Toyota, what drives you?
And that's kind of tells you what this game looks like. Oh, the moisture around. Almost looked like a birthday cake there.
Yeah, it did. Didn't it? That looks better than a birthday cake
Yes,
right now.
it does.
Darn good looking hot dog.
Take your kids to a ball game, get them a hot dog. No, I want my team to win. No, I want my team to win.
Make sure they bring a glove.
Say hello to some Pirate fans here at the game today. They are watching on the app too from Northern Indiana. Brian and Lisa Hedger with son Chance here today as well. So he plays on the little league team that's called the Cubs, which makes him have a kind of upset stomach that he has to play for the Cubs, but they assigned the teams there. So.
Hey, whatever name the team has, you got to go with it.
Yeah. Just happy to have a uniform.
After a while, he can become a free agent. He
Yeah,
can move on
yeah,
and then play for whoever he wants
That's
to.
right.
It's like Happ, Pittsburgh guy, but
Yeah.
he's got to play for the Cubs right
Yeah,
now.
exactly. Exactly. Corey Dickerson grew up in Mississippi. Had to move. Well, talk about a crazy time in the Dickerson family life, right? He was just opening spring training down in Florida, and they're about to have their second child, and then he gets traded to the Pirates. I mean, that happened on the same day, February 22nd. He gets traded, and wife Beth Ann delivering their second son, Miller. I mean, that happened on the same day.
A lot going on.
Yeah. Trying to build off that all-star season last year. Into the foggy left field compound. Able to keep his eyes on it. Some more people taking in the game today. Some of our social media. Point Park. And Stephanie out here today. Brian and company making their way here. Good to see everybody in front of the marquee. Yeah, I think that's the picture you take, right? First trip to Wrigley. This is a cool place to come. It's changed a lot over the years, especially the last few years. They've built it up. The neighborhood called Wrigleyville.
That walk looked over the back side here earlier today, and there had to have been 20 people standing at that corner with their cell phones taking pictures of the sign.
Yeah, the marquee's been there for I think since the 30s in some fashion or form.
It's the place to take the picture.
You might wonder too. You know, originally they had the games were at 1:30 here, and then they moved them to 1:20 because of the elevated train here. I think it's just tradition now. That I don't know if that's still the case, but that was originally what it was. The reason for making a kind of a funny start time. That is the fog. If you ever wonder what it would be like to play above the clouds, Madison Russell can tell you right now.
It's weird right now because it's bright. Almost like it's sunny, but there's so much fog real low. I mean, where we're at up here in the booth, we can't hardly see a thing.
Neither could Moran.
That's the kind of pitch that Hendricks makes his living with right there. Yeah, you can see where we're at, and it's a lot of fog. We're looking straight out into it.
Welcome to San Francisco.
Right now, we cannot make out the numbers on the old scoreboard.
Nope, I have no idea.
Impossible. I can see the scoreboard, but I can't read the numbers.
The wind is not sure. That helps us a lot.
The camera can see it very good. They can zoom in on it. But
yeah. And we are, I want to say, what, a mile or maybe a mile and a half away from the lake. I mean, this is not a ballpark right up against Lake Michigan.
It's getting hard to see the building. Remember, we're talking about the high rises. Now you can't see the buildings that are right next to the stadium.
No,
they're starting to fade.
Can you imagine if today you got the rooftop seating?
Man, that's actually some people sitting on top of the roof back there. You can't really make them out.
That got through.
We think. Oh yeah, I see it now.
I actually put that as a base hit to center. Whoops, left field. Not really sure where it went. Just heard it get through. Here we are, just hanging out. I'm waving.
We're in there somewhere. It's the smaller of the three booths, I assure you of that.
There, now you can see the hand right there.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Wish you had the telestrator. You can't make it out. I look pretty good in the fog, you know. It kind of hides the flaws a little bit.
Yeah, high def TV is not good to everybody.
Bell drew a walk his first time.
I want one of the real high fly balls. We'll see if they're having a tough time like we are.
Pretty appropriate that former Pirate Josh Fogg will be doing the 7th inning stretch here today. That's the rooftop sitting. No one up there right now. That's our center field camera view.
Down on the field doesn't look nearly as bad.
Bell has drawn 2 walks today. The Pirates put 2 on with 2 out. Hendricks had 75 pitches with 2 outs in the 4th.
Yeah, we're not getting the good Hendricks today, thank goodness. We will be seeing some of that Cub bullpen soon.
It's the clock to tell you if you have enough time left to challenge a play. Oh, Rhode Island? Look at this.
Candlestick.
Yeah. Did that ever roll in?
Oh,
fog?
yeah, it get foggy there.
Would it?
Yep. That's really, this is a typical Candlestick game.
Because it was out on the point
in the
there,
middle
is
of
that why?
July or August. It'd be foggy at night. They had a foghorn they'd blow. It'd be significantly colder though.
Would that affect play at all?
I don't ever remember the fog. I mean, not in a game that I actually was at. I'm sure they had some issues with it on some really bad evenings.
But it would come in at night, you said, right? I mean, not during the day like this.
No, not the. It's kind of a nighttime thing. Wind blowing too hard during the day.
That's 3-1 now on Polanco. Mercer would be next. A walk would load him up.
I'd be totally shocked if they don't get somebody thrown in that bullpen. I mean, it's obvious that Hendricks' control is not what he's used to having.
Polanco sends it into the fog.
That's what I wanted. And no problems.
Pirates threaten, but strand 2. Still 1-0 Pirates.
Out to the concourse, part of the newly expanded concourse area at Wrigley Field. Now, there used to be a bunch of kiosks here, and that foot traffic used to prevent all the other traffic from moving freely throughout the concourses. So they've since removed all the kiosks, built the concession stands in closer toward the ballpark, and now all this foot traffic is moving freely. So now anybody that wants to grab a hot dog, a bratwurst, a beer, nachos, anything, they can do it quicker and get out and watch some more baseball. Part of the ongoing renovations here at Wrigley Field. Joe and Bob.
Well, thanks, Robbie. Yeah, and it's a little better. It was, imagine about half that width before. And now that the Cubs have regained popularity, they've got 40,000 plus in here every day. the old-fashioned way of the concourses underneath the stands. You can only build it out so much. They're doing a nice job of doing the best they can with what they've got. They've dug down a lot of places to try to create more room.
Yeah, there just simply is not a big piece of property here. They're hemmed in by streets. And that's one area where they've been able to do a little something.
Down and along the left field line.
They used to be where the big coal silos used to be. That's why there's no street there. Back when everyone heated their homes with coal, they had two big silos that sat right there on that property.
Now it's a place to play catch.
Yeah.
When did you find that? That was earlier this year, last year?
I saw a picture of an older picture of Wrigley Field, and I saw those big silos there, and I like, what could those possibly be? And I put my research staff on it, and they found out that they were coal silos.
Think about all the stuff this ballpark has seen. It was built for the Federal League Whales. The Cubs came in as the second tenants back in 1916. So I mean, you know, the first 2 years, the only 2 years the Federal League was around, a rival third league. And then the Cubs said, well, we want to come on in here to Weigman Park and try this out before it was renamed Wrigley. Seen a lot. And I guess it had seen coal silos. I mean, this park's been around before cars were popular, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
everybody came here in horse and buggies.
Yeah.
It's a gym.
That's foul. Can't blame the fog. Come on.
Should have made that catch.
The shift. Eighth pitch of the at bat. Also with a leadoff single, his first hit of the series.
You know, with nobody out, you know, I can see Rizzo trying to be a little more conservative with his swing and just punch the ball the other way, try to start the inning off with a base runner. Now, if he was up with 2 outs and nobody on, and just trying to flip a ball the other way, probably not the best strategy. In this scenario, then you're the leadoff guy of the inning. Yeah.
Threw him hard away, and he took what he was pitched. He and Happ, a strikeout victim his first time. With the fog here, it really makes the batter pop with the fans kind of muted in the background. It's a cinematographer's dream. Get some of these images. Great shots by camera operators today. Nice job. Artsy looks. Yeah, we can see you.
See Robbie down there.
Can't see you though. The farther you are away, there are more water particles in the air, right? Is that what it means? So that's why it's harder and harder to see farther and farther away.
I'll look through more stuff.
Yeah. Meadows is out in center. He's out there.
Believe me, it looks worse than that with the naked eye. At least from where we're sitting.
Right to the bag. And they get 2. Fine footwork by Jordy Mercer.
couldn't ask for a better ball to get a double play with. And high chopper right over the top of the mound. It works great every time, and Nova not even thinking about trying to get involved with that, which is good. All he was going to do is ruin the double play if he tries to catch it.
And erasing that leadoff single. Kyle Schwarber will bat with the bases empty. Josh Harrison led off the game with a home run. That is standing to date. I just didn't see that.
Didn't see that one either.
And Schwarber down on the low curve. Ivan Nova has registered 6 strikeouts. And he's got a 1-0 lead.
It's starting to have a little bit of an effect on the game. Joe and Bob were saying how hard it is to see the other end of the scoreboard out in center field. Well, I talked to outfield coach Kamar Barti. He said, hey, this is the worst I've ever seen in decades in terms of fog. He said, thank goodness, first of all, that this is a day game. Nighttime fog, forget it. It would be impossible to see balls going into the air. Now, the one thing he likened it to was playing a game at the old Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome back in Minneapolis. They had the old white roof. In fact, there was a game back in 2009 when Andrew McCutchen lost the ball when he was playing left field that ended up causing the Twins to win a baseball game. And then one other thing he said, with outfielders, they really have to be able to see that ball off the bat, not take their eyes off it the entire flight path of the baseball. And the other thing, a left fielder might have to go to center field to catch their baseball in case they lose it. So guys are going to have to go a little bit out of their normal comfort zone to play baseballs they wouldn't normally get to in this heavy fog, which seems to only be getting worse by the inning.
Thanks for getting us on the field report there, Robbie. Yeah, I think our, as you pointed out, Bob, I think the cameras do a good job of picking things up. It's a little tougher with the naked eye, it seems.
Now we're kind of up higher, so I think down on the field level, the fog is not nearly as thick as where we're sitting, and they're not having such a hard time with it. It's just the fly balls that are going to be a little bit of a problem. Could be if you took your eye off it.
Ah, yes, the sequel to the Fog Bowl. Maybe not quite like that today, but it's.
If it was like that, we wouldn't be playing.
Yeah, it's been interesting though. Why not?
Occasionally, it kind of moves out a little bit. It's a little thinner right now than it was You know, you can look at the scoreboard, at least I can now, and I can read it. I can see the numbers on the scoreboard. Couldn't do that last inning. We're putting one to play.
Hendricks with 2 quick outs, relatively speaking.
Hey, he needs an inning like this.
Yeah.
He has really had a hard time throwing a lot of pitches.
And he'll have to get through Josh Harrison. When this game started, leading it off with a home run.
Look how you could see back then. No fog in that first inning.
Yeah.
You could see some, you know, off the distance toward the lake, but that was that.
And for Hendricks, an 8-pitch, 1-2-3 inning. So Pirates, though, on Harrison's home run, still lead 1-0. At Wrigley Field. And next Saturday back at PNC Park, the Pirates will host the Reds at 4:05, and the fun starts on Federal Street before the game with a Margaritaville block party featuring live music, food trucks, and autographs from 1960 Cy Young Award winner Vernon Law. And the first 20,000 fans take home a Pirates Hawaiian shirt thanks to AT Sportsnet. Get your tickets, go to pirates.com. Here from the corner at Clark and Addison in Chicago on a foggy Sunday afternoon in the middle of June. It's gotten wind has shifted a little bit. It's been blowing across at times. It's starting to move in a little bit more now. That's how you beat the wind.
He hit that under the wind and the fog. Nova normally won't get his share of ground balls, that's for sure. A couple of ground balls this afternoon have gone for base hits to start innings off. Rizzo, now Russell.
Cubs have 3 hits, all singles. Inside, underneath the bleachers, the Cubs bullpen, Brian Dunsing, the left-hander, getting up.
Stella out on deck.
So it looks like,
you know, I never really thought much of that bullpen as far as, you know, weather controlled until you know, yesterday when I walked out there to the bullpen in a kind of a drizzling, you know, before the game. Remember how it was just kind of
yeah,
damp and drizzly? walked into the bullpen, and it's like beautiful, perfect, dry. Now, if you're warming up to come into a game, you know, especially like in April. Remember how it was here in April?
Oh,
snow on the ground.
Very cold, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's got to be a shock. You come walking through that door.
That's where it used to be.
Out onto the field. Yeah, that's the old. Now it's beyond that Sloan sign, back underneath there. It's a huge, huge room. Tons of area back in there for the guys.
Russell was running.
But it was just so nice. I mean, in the old days, you had a sideline to throw on a drizzly day, as sloppy and muddy, and you really didn't look forward to it, and it was hard to really kind of work on something if you had something to do. But you go back in there, and it's like I kidded Ray, it's like you have a pitching laboratory back here. It's just do whatever you want, work on things. It's perfectly dry.
Well, before you'd have to be out in the elements the whole game. I mean,
right.
Or sit in the cramped dugout.
Yeah, you could sit. You could go back into the clubhouse.
The catacombs. I mean, it wasn't like the clubhouse was right behind the.
No, it's a walk.
Dugout.
It's a ways to get to it. It's
long, winding, narrow.
It's kind of it's above that concourse that Robbie was showing earlier. You can look down onto everybody in line getting food and stuff when you come out the clubhouse door.
See if Nova can get another double play ball. One's going to be safe.
It was a double play ball. It was hit sharply. Jordy, who is so steady making the everyday plays. I mean, he very seldom ever messes one up like this.
When's the last time Harrison and Mercer made an error in the same game?
That was a two-hopper, right? It just got up in the heel of the glove a little bit. Watch that last hop, just right there, and it pops up on him.
And if he keeps it in the glove, he's going to get one out of that, and it just fell out. And with Hendricks being lifted, their top pinch hitter, Tommy La Stella, going to bat with 2 men aboard. 12 pinch hits this season. And to add, not only has he been good as a pinch hitter, he's been good with men in scoring position as well. 360. Pirates worked around an error in the third.
Look how quiet Estella keeps his hands. Some guys, they really load up. They curl in that front shoulder, the big long swing. He is dead still until he decides swing. Very short, right to the baseball.
Statuesque.
I mean, even when he starts to take a little bit of a stride, the hands still just stay right there.
This is in motion.
Yeah, well, watch the. It's not a still picture, but see how the hands hardly moved at all. The body actually kind of starts going forward a little bit, and the hands are still dead still. And it makes it look like his hands are kind of going back a little, but it's not really. His hands are staying where they were. Body moving forward a little. It's amazing all the different styles that guys figure out a way to make work.
Get another ground ball. And this time they get 2.
Beautiful.
Well, you give those guys a second chance, and they're always going to come through.
Nova's getting the ball a hit on the ground.
Look at the movement on that fastball.
3 ground ball in this inning.
1 got through, 1 got juggled, 1 got 2. Four, 6, 3 equals 2. Russell moves to third. Got to get through Javier Baez, though. Struck out, reached on an error. Ooh. Don't make a mistake to him because he's swinging.
Now compare him to La Stella. I mean, he's all kinds of motion stuff going all over the place.
Remember watching
but look at his stats. He makes this work.
Yeah.
Got 14 home runs, 46 RBIs. So.
Remember watching that long drive contest?
Yeah.
That's what he reminds me of when he's gripping and ripping.
There's more than one way to get the job done.
Trying to bring in Russell. First time the Cubs have had a runner at third since the third inning. That's the only other big scoring opportunity that they've had. Moran trying to keep it fairly close at third until the pitch comes in. He backs up. He went. I'm going to start. He's in a little bit of a funk too at the plate, though, for his last 15.
Kind of starts his bat every time. Just like he makes up his mind not to swing late.
Get him to chase. Nova's worked out of a couple of sticky situations today, and he keeps the Pirates on top. Fine third baseman here at the game today. Good to see Rami.
Oh, yeah. Outstanding career. Most of it here in Chicago. And they kept clapping until he finally stood up.
And he's not a guy that likes a lot of attention. So
no, he's not. They had to encourage him to stand up and wave.
Good to see him. Always like.
Excellent player.
Yeah, always like. You know, for me, and I haven't been around as long as you guys have, but in the short time that I have, I thought he was the best at barehanding a ball at third in the time that I've seen, at least. He was outstanding at that. Never missed one. I mean, almost never.
I think he was his first appearance with us. I'm pretty sure he was just 19 years old.
Yeah, he was.
Teenager. I mean,
and you know,
and he's one of those guys. I think he had a 100 RBI season very quickly in his career.
You know, I was just thinking too, we showed a statue of Ron Santo earlier, and there are not that many third basemen in the Hall of Fame. I wonder if Aramis Ramirez eventually gets in. He's not eligible yet. But
his numbers are fairly close to Santo's if you compare the two of them.
Meadows driving one to right. And He'll play it off the ivy. Will Hayward. He's got a cannon for an arm. And that dart into second is late. Leadoff double for Meadows.
Meadows just keeps performing game after game.
Another extra base hit.
Got our only hit yesterday. Didn't get this one up in the air high enough to get a home run. Too much of a line drive. Got to hustle with Hayward out there. He'll make you earn that double.
Just another extra base hit off a lefty. Brian Dunsing in the game.
Dunsing's numbers all pretty good. Good ERA, good opponent batting average,
which just went up. Yeah, Meadows against left-handed pitching slugging about 1,000. He averages a single every time he comes up.
I wonder what point, if it will happen, where opposing managers can quit making that left-on-left move against him.
Yeah,
I mean, it's too early now to really say that.
Sure, but then and not to second guess the Cubs here. I mean, normally that makes sense, but then you bring Dickerson up, who's been one of the best left-handed batters at hitting lefties this year. He's hitting .340 against lefties. So the splits aren't there for these first two hitters. And then even the third lefty that's due up in the inning, Moran, has been okay. He's hung in there against lefties. Not a huge disparity. A small sample size, but hit lefties well last year at AAA. So
then they have 3 of them in that bullpen. They got to use them.
Yeah. So that's I mean, in theory, it's better probably to throw a lefty than a righty, but numbers disprove some of that. But the writers would get on you if you put a righty in there. We had 3 lefties coming up. How come you brought in a righty? Sometimes you got to just play the odds, I guess. Life of being a manager, no? No one's ever first guessed.
No.
Hey, right after he hit that home run, I said you shouldn't have done that. Okay, yeah. 2 strikes. Dickerson good in that mode. Pirates still looking for their first hit of the series with a man in scoring position. Pirates are 0 for 18 with men in scoring position in the series.
Well, hopefully Dickerson can pull this ball even if he doesn't get a hit. Move Meadows to third base. He does.
Only one play there, and so a productive out for Dickerson.
This is good situational hitting right there.
And when we say 0 for, say with runners in scoring position, the Pirates are going to have one tacked on there, but that's what you want to do. Sometimes giving yourself up is the right thing to do.
And you're still at times you're going to get hits to that side. I think we saw Hayward do that in first game. He was trying to pull the ball, get a ball hit over to that side, and he got a hit.
Yeah, sometimes you can line it over the infield, which is meeting with Jim Hickey, the pitching coach. First year after a long time with the Rays. He and Dickerson were in Tampa Bay together last year.
Got to do with the infield and keep him in on the grass.
Moran glad to have Hendricks gone. He struck out twice against him.
Got to hold
trying to keep Meadows close at third. Yeah,
I'll hold him on like he's at first base. A little out of the ordinary.
Usually there's some degree of that, but not standing on the bag.
No, you don't. Yeah, no, he actually is standing closer to third than you'll see Rizzo at first. When Rizzo holds on a runner, he's not that close to first as Bryant is to third.
I mean, he's standing there as if he can take a throw. Got the stretch and everything. So if the Pirates had a design to put something on there, right? Is that foil that? Is that the theory?
Well, I don't know what the theory is, but it's meaningless unless you're worried about him stealing home, because once the pitcher goes into delivery, you're taking your secondary lead to the same spot you would if Bryant was playing 4 or 5 feet off the base.
So that's why we don't see this very often.
Because it's useless. It's eyewash. Unless you got somebody trying to steal home, then you want to hold. That's why you hold guys on at first.
Because they're stealing.
Not so.
Second.
Yeah, exactly.
But we don't see a lot of straight steals at home, though.
No, but if you had somebody that you thought might do that, then you have to hold them onto the bag just like you hold a guy on at first. But in this case, this is all about trying to cut Meadows down at the plate, and he's still going to get his secondary lead. See where he's walking to? That's the same place he had walked to if Bryant was playing 4 or 5 feet off the bag, because you can only go so far without getting picked off by the catcher. So that's what limits how far down the line you can come. It's the catcher.
The only exception we see is sometimes in those really big shifts, right? Then the runner can get
there's nobody to throw to. I'm saying if Bryant is playing 4 or 5 feet off the bag.
So to be on the bag or versus 5 feet off the bag, there's no difference.
You're not going to have any effect on Meadows' secondary lead whatsoever. Whether you're standing on the bag or you're standing like at the edge of the cutout grass, Meadows still can only go so far as the ball's being delivered to the plate, because the catcher could pick him off if he went too far. See where the cut of the grass is? Bryant's left foot could be over there, and Meadows still can only come so far when the pitcher's thrown home.
3-2. Moran will work a walk. So Dunsing came on against 3 lefties, allowed a double, a productive out, and a walk. And then the matchup definitely tilts in the Pirates' favor with the right-handed Elias Diaz. Already with a hit today. He hits better than 400 against lefties.
They are leaving Dunsing in there.
409 against lefties. Maybe he'll clean up here.
The infield back on the edge of the grass.
Just with a high curveball. There's no one in the Cubs pen, so this is Dunsing's inning. There you see it. A couple of home runs against lefties. Both those pitchers borderline, but because of, a high curveball is kind of hard pitch to call a strike.
Yeah, you're not going to get that call a strike.
That one because of Jimenez not being able to catch it cleanly. Don't get the borderline calls. Now Diaz can take a rip. Ooh. Joe West says no. 3-0. Check, please.
No swing.
In danger of loading him up for the number 6 hitter, Josh Bell. Diaz on 3-0, an RBI single out to right. And that doubles the Pirates' lead. Diaz comes through with his 2nd hit today.
Hey, going the other way, you got a big hole on that side, and you're much less likely to hit into a double play, hit a ground ball if you're trying to hit the ball the other direction. Way easier to get the ball in the air when you go the other way. And that ball's on the outside corner. If he tries to pull that, he's going to roll over on it. It's going to be ground ball to short.
Which would have ended the inning without a run. And instead, RBI number 14.
And if I'm nitpicking, probably not ball he should have swung at 3-0. But hey, results.
Doesn't get that call either. Dunsing getting squeezed a bit here in the inning. Pirates trying to take advantage. Moran, the lead runner at second. Not a lot of speed on the bases for Bell. Let's see if he can let him trot around. He's walked twice today.
Nick Bell's hit a little bit better from the right side this year too, hasn't he? So
Pretty even.
Pretty even.
He's not hit a home run as a right-handed batter, but the slugging percentage is better. But pretty even. Now there's some activity in the Cubs pen. The young Luke Farrell. That's a better ball.
You can get picky about a ball. They all look the same, but sometimes they just don't feel right.
Now a strike. Dickerson with that productive out, moving Meadows to third. He scored on Diaz's single. Diaz aboard with his second hit today, getting the start after Cervelli had to leave the game yesterday. Bell was moved down a couple of days ago to the 6th spot in the order, but he's got a big situation here with 2 men aboard. Right after the Pirates getting their first hit with a man in scoring position in the series. Bust those floodgates wide open. Dunsing can't get on the same page with Jimenez. Jimenez in his 5th game as a Cub.
I'm not sure. There was prior to that. There was about 3 pitches where they're having a very hard time deciding what to do. I'm guessing one of the signs he had a hard time getting was the spin move sign for the pickoff. And before that last one where he had to actually call him out, he kept looking in and tapping on his head. I don't know, trying to tell his catcher something, whatever tapping on your head means.
(3-1).
And it hasn't just been Dunsing. Remember Hendricks?
Yeah, Hendricks had a spell there where it was taking a long time between pitches. Gregory Polanco out on deck. 2 on, 1 out. 3-2 to Bell. And he'll work his 3rd walk today. Base is full of Bucks. And that's going to be it for Brian Dunsing. He came on to try to get 3 lefties out. Instead, he walks a pair, gives up 2 hits, adding to the Pirates' lead. They're looking for more. And Dunsing done here in the 6th. Bases full for Polanco. So they pull the lefty Dunsing and bring in the right-hander Luke Farrell.
Well, Farrell's numbers on the season. Game number 9 for him. Just 11 innings of work. 3 home runs. That would be a nice thing to add to right here. Maybe put the game away if Polanco could come up with a long one. Made that adjustment a couple of days ago, moving further off the plate. Try to handle balls that are inside a little bit better.
Moran's at third, Diaz at second, Bell at first. 2 hits and 2 walks in the inning. He was ready.
Don't know where the ball is. It's up there somewhere.
A foggy afternoon here on the wharf.
You can see the scoreboard nice now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
actually
This is about as clear as it's been in a couple innings.
yeah, moved down a little.
Polanco has grounded into an inning-ending double play. Flat out with 2 men on in the 4th to end that frame.
Backdoor curveball. Starts out on the porch and comes right into the screen door.
Lined out to right, and Polanco's going to bring in one. Here comes another. Diaz is in, and Bell's around third. And he will score. It's a bases clearing triple for Gregory Polanco.
Yeah, that'll work almost as well as that home run we were talking about. That could do it for the Pirates. That's a huge hit, obviously, when you can bring in 3 runs with 1 swing at this stage of the game.
Up
Right.
and over the plate.
Right there.
We were talking yesterday. Rock was saying, you know, Polanco sometimes struggled with that meaty pitch, but he didn't miss it there.
It'll take
Ripping
him.
that ball.
It'll take him, I think, a little while to settle down on what pitches are good pitches to hit. Now that he's off the plate by, I would say he's probably moved off 8-9 inches.
That's a good point. I mean, you know, that's a huge.
The ball, it's got to look
change.
different.
Yeah.
You know, what's the pitch on the corner going to look like to me now? You know, either corner.
So maybe there'll be some inconsistency
I
for a
could-
little while, and then.
Yeah, I don't think you can really judge whether this is going to work right away. You got to let him, reacquire the strike zone.
Well, Polanco right there now with 31 runs batted in. Just a great inning at the plate. All 4 runs charged to Dunsing in his 1/3, taking his ERA from 2.29 to 4.05. Oh, to be a reliever, huh? Pirates aren't done yet here with 1 out in the inning. If Mercer can loft a fly ball here or get it past the drawn in infield and add another one. And Mercer comes through. Well, he's hit the ball hard in this series, finally getting that base hit and an RBI as well. 6-0 Pirates. 5-run inning.
Little hanging breaking ball. Just thrown a couple very hittable pitches since coming in. The one to Polanco was right down the middle, and this just a hanger. Lucky it only went for a single. That could have easily been a gap shot. Jordy got just a little more underneath the ball.
Nova trying for the sacrifice with 1 out.
Nice 6-run cushion now for him.
He's been nice on the mound. This was a 1-0 game to begin the inning. Nova keeping it that way. Polanco, that ripping bases clearing triple. Love seeing the balls down the lines here because it's deeper. And most often those become 3 base hits. Pirates have hung a 5 spot so far. Nova is the second out. And the Pirates will send a 9th man to bat this inning. Polanco, that big hit, taking 2-0 to 5-0. Mercer adding another.
All got started this afternoon by the spark plug. Guy that always gets things going. Jay Hay with a lead off the game home run.
The Pirates are outscoring the Cubs in this series 7-5. It's been a pitching series until this inning.
The Pirate side of things, it's still a pitching series.
That's right. Giving up 5 runs so far in just 2.5 games to this Cubs team that pretty much leading baseball in runs scored over the last month plus.
Yeah, they really have been playing some good baseball. Hot team.
Now the Cubs taking the first 2 games of the series, 2-run wins. 3-1 and 2-0. Pirates have the advantage. A little bit more one-sided fashion thanks to this 5-run 6th inning. Jay Hay looking for his 3rd hit today. And Farrell will get the best of him. But the Pirates bat around. They put 5 on the board. Gone together for the Pirates lately, and today so far they have.
Yeah, they have. And Nova really pitching great, just like we were hoping we would see. And then the offense, right from the beginning of the game, a long at bat by Jay Hay ended in that home run, the leadoff home run, and And then you're always looking for a big inning somewhere. I mean, that's really what wins games, big innings, you know, over the long run of season. And this one was huge. 5 runs that they were able to put on the board. So now Nova's got a nice little lead. He'll probably hand it over to the bullpen soon, and we can go to the desert with a win.
Hayward lining the ball into the ivy in center, and the leadoff double, the first extra base hit for the Cubs today.
Oh, yeah. 5-run lead always feels a little bit better. 5-run inning. When the other team gets a leadoff double. If it was still 1-0, we'd be in a little bit of trouble now.
Left it up. Now Hayward's been on a roll since coming off the DL, hitting about 340. Eighth double for Jason Hayward. Now you got Bryant with Rizzo on deck.
Kind of an interesting strategy question kind of comes up in this scenario. Does Bryant just hit for himself, or does he still try to hit the ball to right field? What's the proper thing for him to do here? Down by a large amount. And the reason I think it's kind of interesting is the Pirates got a 5-run inning. And what was the second play of that inning?
It was a productive out to try to move
the runner over.
But that was a 1-run game at that time.
Right, but I mean, you played for 1 run, but that doesn't mean that's what happens, because now when that runner gets to third base with 1 out, now the pitcher starts doing different things, maybe trying to be too fine, going for a strikeout, doesn't want that run to score.
But I think you bring up a good question when it's a 6-run game.
Yeah,
I don't know
traditionally.
I don't know what the answer is.
You just kind of, you're not worried about moving the runner over because you need a lot of runs.
Because outs now is, you see the Pirates bullpen, Brault and Santana.
But, you know, moving runners over sometimes create other opportunities, and things can snowball.
Well, you only have 12 outs left.
I mean, I'm not saying he should move the runner over. Well, don't sacrifice.
Right.
No, you don't give up an out, but maybe you try to get a base hit to right. Still, I don't know.
Instead, Nova will try to strike him out, and there it is. It doesn't move up the runner and creates an out. Good scenario.
Bryant's had a tough time with Nova.
2 strikeouts and an 0 for 3 day. 7 Ks for Nova now.
Pretty darn good hook. Maybe he's got a lot of bite to it.
Like a fresh radish.
Crisp.
And now Hayward still at second for Rizzo, who has singled and walked today. Nova's used the changeup today too to lefties a good bit. Yeah, his stuff's just been sharper.
He's used his his fastball to get ground balls when he's needed to. One of the keys to the game to this point was that double play that was turned. And first and second, nobody out.
He's gotten a couple of double play balls. He got one right after he thought he had a double play ball. There was an error, and then the next batter
just decided to get, well, I'll get me another one. Not one, I get another one.
Vintage. And that fastball's had some zip when he's needed it. 94 and 5 today with regularity. Looks fresh. Now ahead 1-2 on Rizzo.
Bounce that Radish up there. Put right on the plate.
They're easy to grow, you know. About time to pull them up.
Bounce a Radish. That's a new thing for throwing a curve.
I like that.
Oh, that's look where he's. See where fingers pointing.
That's a good idea too.
That was not a curveball, but he wanted it down out of the strike zone. Was that changeup?
Not sure what that was.
It didn't have the bite of a Radish.
Just don't throw him a cantaloupe.
Now Nova steps out. It's like maybe it's the fog. I just can't see the signs.
Everyone just very foggy today. Oh, we've seen both pitchers take their time at times. Usually both quick workers. Did Rizzo go? No. And Hayward will advance to third, though the ball almost beat him there.
Did he go? It's close.
They appealed to third, and then the ball wrapped around the brick and headed that way too.
On the boards.
Three and two on Rizzo with one out. Will be good enough to get the run home. So the wild pitch yields a run batted in for Rizzo. And a shutout broken up. 6-1 now. Rizzo just finds those RBIs, though, doesn't he?
Now he got lucky with that wild pitch.
Well, there's still a 5-run cushion. The next will be his 90th pitch of the afternoon.
Santana and Brault both loose.
I would think this would maybe be Nova's last batter. If he gets out, great, 6 innings. If not, all right, maybe shake hands. We'll get Brault to get Schwarber. Just because he's coming off the DL, you know, maybe don't throttle him that first time back out. And now behind 3-0 here, maybe starting to have some of that fatigue set in, perhaps. Let's see if he can rebound here. That's a call.
Yep. Been a little, I think, a friendly strike zone.
Except for Dunsing. Dunsing, for whatever reason, to a couple of batters. That's the balls not go his way, and then the inning spiraled in favor of the Pirates.
Nova, I saw him look to the dugout there right after he threw that pitch. Maybe trying to let them know that he may be done.
Yeah, it just looks like the fatigue maybe be sending in here with the second walk issued there by Nova. First game back off the DL, got a big lead. Clean up the inning, did a good job. Wonderful effort, Flynn Hurdle saying.
It looked like himself.
And trying to play stopper today. And the Pirates bats coming through. And Yuki Rojas wants to make sure they got the right guy coming through.
We had two of them, and don't send the wrong one in.
Feel good about himself coming off the DL today.
Yes, he can. He did a great job against a tough lineup that, as you pointed out just a few moments ago, they've been scoring a lot of runs this year. And he came in and just shut them down. Got the ground balls when he wanted to for double plays. He got strikeouts. Curveball was excellent. I mean, it was like a radish. He had the great changeup. Movement on the two-seamer to get those ground balls. He had velocity. He had pretty good control of everything. Can't ask for anything more. And he had that nice 10-pitch first inning. Kind of, you knew right then, okay, he's all right. He's fine.
8 strikeouts today for Nova. Edgar Santana, who has been good stranding runners, and he has been good against lefties this year too.
He's been good.
Period. Yeah.
Developing into that, back into the bullpen type pitcher that I think everybody saw that he had the talent to maybe be like that last year when he came up.
And Schwarber out to end the inning. So Nova en route for the win if the Pirates can hold it over the final 3 innings.
the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
A little bit of fog still here at Wrigley Field. Kind of a eerie afternoon in that regard. Maybe deja vu all over again for Austin Meadows. He led off the last inning with a double. Yeah, that started a 5-run 6th inning. That is the margin right now. Austin Meadows with 11 extra base hits already. This is his 21st major league game. Not all of those are even starts.
Part of the rotation. The Pirates have stuck to that.
You know, and with Nick Kingham getting sent down today, I mean the rotation. I mean the Pirates have, you know, shown that they have 6 capable starting pitchers. Farrell picked him apart there. 3rd strikeout in a row for Luke Farrell. After allowing all 3 inherited runners to score and another.
A little surprised, I guess, at that curveball. Not exactly a good one in a good spot. Sure,
yeah.
Meadows would love to have that pitch again.
Just a little lollipop.
Yeah, it was a hanging curveball.
Corey Dickerson in that 3 spot today. 0 for 3. Every Pirate position player other than Dickerson with either a hit or run scored today. That Pirate P on his batting helmet obscured now by the pine tar. Looks like some of those airbrushed baseball cards.
It's foggy.
Oh, it's just a fog.
It's fogged out.
Got it by a pixel. Colin Moran in the cleanup spot today. On deck. Well foul. We'll never know where that one ended up. Beautiful backdrop here in Chicago. Just can't see it.
Nice and gray out there.
Pulled the curtain.
Start to see the taller buildings a little bit, the bottom parts of them, but couldn't see that for a couple innings. The good thing is there's no rain.
The water droplets are already in the air. Hasn't thrown him a strike yet. Best pitch he's seen so far. They can probably start rolling that one up.
Yeah, let's roll that baby up.
Just pretend I didn't bring this today.
Don't they have one with an L on it?
They do.
Oh, okay, well, maybe he's got that in his pocket.
That is to signify whether the team wins or loses, right? They put that out in center field to let the neighborhood folks know what the local 9 did that day. We got him on the double backswing.
You don't see that very often when you catch him going back the other way.
Usually you think you're safe by that point. 9th pitch coming up. Straightens it out. Two up and two down in the Pirates' 7th. And after today's action, the Pirates head to Phoenix to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Joe Musgrove now scheduled to start against the red-hot Paul Goldschmidt and the Diamondbacks. Our coverage starts at 9 p.m. with Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason. Out west for the first time.
Goldschmidt's hotter than the weather.
That's going to be about $1.07 tomorrow out there, so probably going to be buttoned up.
See what he's done in the last 4 games. See those numbers he's putting up.
But 2 home runs in each game, right? Last 2 games.
Robbie was telling me something that it was like only maybe 5 players in the history of the game that have had a better 4-game stretch.
Well, that's not encouraging.
Hey, let him get all those hits out of his system before we get there.
This one carrying out to right. But Hayward with room. And a 1-2-3 inning for Farrell. Time to stretch in Chicago. 6-1 Buccos. Great start for the Buccos here today. Josh Harrison with a leadoff home run. Music from Dropkick Murphys here from the fog-laden Wrigley Field. Pirates clearly leading. Josh Harrison started the game with a bang, a home run. And they've been up ever since. Addison Russell with a base hit. Leadoff single in the 5th inning. Edgar Santana came in to get the final out in the 6th. Really enjoyed this young bullpen, watching them develop. Now they've taken some lumps over the last couple of weeks, but for the most part, I mean, you think about This group, Santana's a rookie. Crick pitched about a half a season in the big leagues. Glass now converted to the bullpen for the first time in his life. Neverauskas is up right now for Richard Rodriguez, who's a rookie as well. Brault is new to the bullpen. I mean, and Vasquez, her first full year as a closer. That makes Michael Feliz really the the guy with the most major league relief experience down there. I mean, this has been a young bullpen, and again, like I said, they've taken their lumps the last couple of weeks, but they went that long stretch being one of the best bullpens in baseball. There's going to be ups and downs, I would imagine, but overall, it's been pretty stable considering how inexperienced these guys are.
Yeah, you just hope those lows would be a little shallower. When they have they dip down a little bit.
Speaking of lows, our Lowe's whole team together. Strikeouts per 9 by Pirates relievers. Second in the National League, so they're getting strikeouts when they need to.
Yeah, they'll be back to being dominant, and then they're going to have some bad times. But like I said, just when they have those dips, you want them to be a short duration and not where 3 or 4 of the guys will collapse at one time and have a bad week. You don't want that to happen.
You think about the cost of bullpens these days. I mean, the Rockies' investment in the offseason just to get some guys to pitch the back end. And their successes have been, good, but they've been inconsistent too. So it's the hardest thing, I think, to predict. A lot of GMs have talked to through the years say the same thing. I mean, relief performance from year to year. You don't know. It's hard to predict, but Pirates have put together some depth. So if they do have some guys that aren't doing great, they can move them in and out. Ray Searage working with these guys.
And one thing I think also is true is there are, when you get to the halfway point of the season, there's always going to be guys available that you can kind of rebuild or patch some holes, whatever you want to do with that bullpen.
Moran's going to have a play on this.
I mean, let's say you need Team A needs a third baseman to hit cleanup. It might be hard to find.
Yeah.
But you need somebody to come in and be a solid, say, 7th, 8th inning guy. You might be able to go out and find one of those guys, because there'll be some teams that have that in their bullpen that aren't contending and know that player is probably going to go somewhere else next year, so they try to get something for him. So those guys are out there. But that's one of your needs every year. So it really kind of lucky that that's the situation. But you can go out and find those type of players.
Well, the Pirates hoping right now that as the right-hander Corey Mazzoni getting up, that the Pirates will continue to play well enough that they will be adding. One caught a piece of Diaz, I think. Yes.
Don't get hurt.
And Cervelli not in the starting lineup today. Clint Hurdle saying day to day and continuing to be evaluated. But the Pirates calling up Jacob Stallings today, so that tells you Cervelli's not available today.
Yeah, something happens to Diaz.
You're
definitely down to one catcher, even though you have 3 of them on the roster.
There's Stallings arriving late morning today.
At least for the short term.
Looking to see if he needs to get warmed up.
Do I need to suit up?
Telling Trevor Williams, yeah, that hurts when that happens. Clint Hurdle knows. He's been behind the dish before. Hello.
That'll do it.
4 batters. 4 batters retired for Edgar Santana.
Brought to you by the Chevy Silverado and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
The silhouette of Ernie Banks, late great Mr. Cub, and 512 career home runs. One of the greats immortalized in statue along the outskirts of Wrigley Field. And from Mr. Banks to Butler County, Evans City native Corey Mazzoni. Seneca Valley product, on for his second appearance of the series.
7th game on the year.
Elias Diaz. A couple of singles today. Good to see him back out there after getting dinged up last inning. An RBI single took it from 1-0 to 2-0. Starting the scoring in that 5-run 6th, where Polanco had the bases clearing triple. And really broke it open.
Yeah, that was the big hit so far of the game. It's kind of made things a little comfortable. And we're going to have a little bit of a delay here, it looks like. We have a runner. That's what's going on. They have taken him down.
Good thing the fog lifted.
A lot of times guys will just kind of run out there, and then after a while they'll give up. It was a little more difficult to take down.
Trying to get a peek. All's well that ends well, except for the patron who would be jailed.
Looks like they're going to take him through the Pirate bullpen.
The Cubs will not be charged a mound visit for that. So Mazzoni, local guy, Seneca Valley. Played for Coach Eric Semega there, and talked with him a couple of days ago. Really nice story, making his way back to the major leagues after having shoulder surgery and 2 brief stints with the Padres, but wasn't healthy, and now with the Cubs has had a good showing, both at AAA and now here in Chicago. That's a fair ball. And Josh Bell with an infield single. Hit it just bad enough.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to be lucky.
Bell on base all 4 times today.
Well, this one comes right off the very end of the bat. Cue shot. Just beat it out.
Bell's a big, strong man, but he can get down the line once he's moving. He'll be all right. How about that stretch? And now Polanco came through with that big 3-run triple back in the 6th inning. Now 2-0 on Polanco, and that 3-base hit, I think that's the most fun play in baseball. Pirates actually leading not only the National League, all of baseball in triples this year. 22 triples already. They only have 24 stolen bases. Think about having almost as many triples as steals. You don't see that very often.
They lead the league in sac flies. Goes hand in hand with the triples.
That makes sense. How about another? No, he'll take the free pass. Pirates regenerating the situation there with 2 on and 1 out. Now Jordy Mercer finally got some redemption. He hit the ball hard yesterday, didn't get anything. Lined out earlier, but then finally had the base hit, brought in a run in the 6th.
You think about Jordy year after year, and we always talk about how steady he is on defense, but his numbers are always on offense. Right there.
He's consistent.
He'll hit you around 250 or so. At the end of the year, he'll be close to 10 home runs, if he maybe even a little over that. He's never going to be a huge RBI guy. He hits in front of the pitcher most of the time, but he'll end up with 50 RBIs or so. Somebody you just don't have to think a whole lot about every day.
Now there's benefit in that.
His name is in that lineup all the time. He doesn't he's one of those guys that begs for days off.
David Freese in the on-deck circle. He would bat for Santana. Full up on Mercer. Pirates must have activity in the pen. Yep, there's Kyle Crick.
Yeah, he won't be able to do that when he gets out here, though. Be a little damp. Can't get the
like Mark the Bird Fidrich.
That dry dirt on your hand.
One of baseball's more animated pitchers from years ago. He's dreaming about going home probably at this point for her. Same with him.
Uh-oh.
And ball 4 to Mercer.
Load him up.
Must have given him some blue cotton candy.
I think it's the baseball.
Oh.
That's what the problem is. We need to get another baseball.
Learning to share. No, he's got to learn to share. Got to teach him that lesson right now.
Well, I don't see any sharing going on, though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
One's got one doesn't.
Son, you may never catch one of these.
Well, I feel like giving him one. I knew where he was and I had a baseball.
You are a kind man.
Make sure he had one. Every kid should have a baseball.
full of buckos. Freese had some well hit balls yesterday. Here though, right at the bag. Oh, and Bryant recovering to get one out.
No, that would have ended the inning if he would have been able to hold on to that ball.
Instead, Freese will pick up a run batted in. Pirates have another.
He backhands this ball cleanly as he's stepping on the bag. Now all he's got to do is throw the ball to first base. Still had a outside shot at throwing the ball over there.
So 2 on and 2 out. RBI number 15 for Freese. Josh Harrison got everything started today with a home run to begin the ball game, capping an 8-pitch at bat. So I mean, double whammy there. Russell hits the force to end the Pirates' 8th. They pick up another. 7-1 Buccos.
The big league club today reported to AAA Indianapolis. He will take on the Toledo Mudheads in a 4-game set that begins tomorrow. In Indianapolis, we get a chance to look at his numbers that he put up with the Bradenton Marauders. Tore apart the league in 7 games. Fantastic numbers. So we don't have a return date set. Now, General Manager Neil Huntington did hint on his radio show, Joe and Bob, that there's a chance he can come off the restricted list in the next, say, week to 2 weeks. We still don't have a return date set for him to get to the big league club, but certainly the fact that he's reporting to Indianapolis means that it's going to be sooner rather than later before we see him in a Buccos uniform.
Well, thanks, Robbie. And you know, no verification that he will join the Pirates at any point. That's still not determined. However,
if he puts numbers up at AAA like he did in A-ball,
it'd be hard not to.
Hard not to. Find a spot. Maybe have an infield rotation.
Oh, like the 4-man outfield rotation.
Well, yeah. I mean, when Jung Ho was here before, they kind of had that in the infield. He would
with Neil.
He would play second sometimes, third sometimes. So if his bat is as strong as it was, before he had his problems, then I mean, you got to figure out a way to get that bat into the lineup at least,
periodically. Yeah. I mean, 25 to 30 home run power.
Yeah, 3 or 4 times a week. But that's a lot of ifs. I mean, he's got to prove himself now at the AAA level.
But he's progressed, at least it's it's encouraging. I mean, remember he went down and played winter ball in the Dominican Republic, and he struggled to adjust, did not hit well at all. Dickerson hangs on, and Baez is 0 for 4 today. And still has a young jersey, held on to it. There was no guarantee that he'd ever come back into the United States again. I mean, the Pirates counted on him not returning. In fact, of course, swinging that trade to bring in a starting third baseman, a rookie in Colin Moran. So now it's, if he does make it back to the Pirates, it's more of a bonus. He's worked a little bit at short too. There's Moran at third. He's been playing most every day over there. But like the outfield situation, like say with Nick Kingham, who is optioned today. Nick Kingham's a big league starting pitcher, but he's going to be down in the minors. Jose Osuna is still down in the minor leagues. He's proven that he could be a major league hitter. But that's what you want as a team. You want to be able to have that depth. You want to be able to have maybe too many guys for spots. That means that you've got options in case there's injury or underperformance. And there are some guys right now that are underperforming, and the Pirates could make some decisions accordingly because they have options. But when do you make that decision? What is the threshold? That's what Clint Hurdle and his staff has to decide.
Done a good job getting that ball inside.
He's been great against lefties.
That's where you want to pitch. Hayward.
He's faced 43 left-handed batters. One has an extra base hit.
Look how far off the plate he is.
It's been like that last couple series now. We're coming off the DL about 3 weeks ago. Maybe closer to 4 now, and has been hitting very well since then. Started anew.
And even though he's that far off the plate, look how he can still get to a 97-mile-an-hour fastball that's off the plate away, all the way to the other side. So he's still able to have plate coverage from where he's at.
And that's what Rock was talking about yesterday, that Hayward still, his sweeter spot is on that outer third and away. You just try to.
When you see a guy that's way off the plate, they're telling you, I don't like the ball in.
Yes. And you can still get him out in, even though he's off the plate.
And that goes back to what we're talking about with Polanco, with knowing what the strike zone is. Because when you back off that far, people are still going to try and throw you in. You got to be able to take that pitch for a ball. And Hayward, I mean, this is way off the plate inside. He can't handle it in there. He doesn't like the ball in it, but he swung at it anyway. And that's not a strike because of where he's standing.
And like you said with Polanco, it's going to take Gregory some time
to get a handle on what's inside, what's outside. Yeah. He's not used to standing, 8-9 inches further off the plate than he has been. Most of the time he's been a Pirate for sure.
Yeah, if Hayward's thinking, okay, as he sees that pitch, well, this is well inside, then he's not going to be swinging at that because he knows he can't hit the inside pitch. But that's probably part of his adjustment too.
If you stand in the same spot every time, year after year, you're going to have a pretty good idea where that strike zone is. You're an everyday player. You get 4 or 5 at bats every day. But if you're always moving around in the box, different play, I'm going to back up, do this, do that. You don't ever get, I think, that consistency of, okay, that's going to be a strike.
You ever share a car? Like with your wife, for instance?
Yeah, the seat's always.
And then she moves it this way and moves the mirror, and then you got to move it back, or try to drive the car the way that she has it set up for you.
Is she watching this game?
Well, I'm not saying she does it wrong. She does it the way it fits her best, right? So now you do something. You've got the same vantage point, the same, and now you're going to try to do it differently all of a sudden.
Right.
It's going to take you a little while.
Take a while to adjust. Got to get the mirrors right.
And hitting a 95-mile-per-hour fastball is probably a lot tougher than driving through the South Hills.
I don't know.
Okay, cross the two bridges to get to the South Hills after a day game. Weekday.
That takes a while.
Yeah. Push on that. Seagulls want it.
They can't have it.
Yeah.
Jordy's got it.
And a nice 1-2-3 inning for Kyle Craig. Bullpen spotless today. Board. Hey, spend Father's Day at the ballpark with Dad when the Pirates host the Reds next Sunday at 1:35. It's a kids' day before the game on Federal Street in the #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone. Kids and dads both take home a replica batting practice cap. Thanks to Kennywood, and kids and dads can run the bases after the game. Presented by Rivendell. For Pirates.com, get your tickets /kids. Pirates.com/kids in other languages. Well, now they've tried to figure out if they're going to just saw the ball in half and give each to the kid, teach him a lesson on what's inside the ball.
That's another
here's the cork. Here's
kind of
yard.
rite of passage is that first baseball you get to take apart to find out what it's made of. You remember that?
I've never been able to do that.
You never have done that? Oh,
no.
we got to get a ball and let you take it apart.
That would be fun.
Just start
the rubber.
unwinding the yarn. Try to get to the cushioned cork center.
If you've never, I mean, and I've never done it, but I've seen it, Googled it or whatever. Take a look and see what's inside the thing.
There's a little sharing. There was some sharing going on there. I like that.
Some reluctant sharing by a friend or sibling.
Just a couple of things of cotton candy will solve that whole problem.
Temporarily.
Sometimes temporarily is enough.
Yes.
When
you're that.
When you're a grandparent.
Yeah. Yes. I want to say hello to Lori Walk, who is tuned into today's telecast.
Yes, she is. She is listening. Hi, babe.
That's nice. I'll get to take a look and see the new treasure. Foggy skies are going to clear up. Yeah. Ride home's going to be fun. Separate them.
They'll be asleep before you go a half mile.
Meadows out to the big part and right.
Edward had a tough time reacquiring that.
Into the clouds.
Yeah, it's not a real good background to be picking that gray colored baseball out of.
Robbie was telling us that Kamara Barti compared it to the old Metrodome roof, the light white roof. There's a light gray sky today.
Hit it a little too high to get it out of here.
That's a 4-time reigning Gold Glover out there, looking less than confident. So far, no miscues out there. It's been pretty foggy since what, third, fourth inning?
Yeah. There was 2 innings there where it was getting to where I'm sure the umpires were thinking, if it gets worse than this, we might have to do something. But the way you can barely make out the buildings in the distance, that's what the scoreboard was looking like.
Visibility was down to a few hundred feet. Corey Dickerson looking to get on base for the first time today, getting a 5th trip. Still checking in at 316. There it is. Dickerson finds a way. Another 2-strike hit.
You know, even though he didn't have a hit to that point, I still think that he maybe had at least one of the more important at bats. You're going to see the base hit. He got a pitch that was outside with 2 strikes and was still able to get out there and hook it to move Meadows into third base after his leadoff double. And when the dust settled, it was a 5-run inning. You get the pitcher, you know, having to try and do different things. You got the infield coming in, playing up shallow.
Because of a selfless out.
Just because he made sure he pulled the ball and moved around to the third.
He does a lot of the little things that you need to win ball games.
And you know, there's times too where you'll do that and nothing happens, and it goes unnoticed and nobody talks about it. You didn't score any runs. You didn't get the run home, but you still have to do it. You know, whether you're going to get credit for it or not. There's no stat, nothing in the stat sheet.
Yeah, productive outs, yeah.
Move runner over. You know, that's not going to be there. But your teammates, your manager, coaches, they know that you're a guy that plays the game the right way.
And that was when it was a 1-0 game in the 6th inning.
That was the big inning, that 5-run inning. And sometimes, so I tried to point this out earlier, just because you play for 1 run doesn't mean that's all you're going to get, because other things start happening out there.
You're playing to ensure 1 run more than playing to limit yourself, unless you're sacrificing. When you're giving up an out,
then you're really just
limiting the scope of the inning.
When you're swinging a bat, you're just trying to pull a ball or hit the ball the other way. It doesn't mean you're not trying to get a hit.
Pitcher falls off the wrong way, but still able to recover.
That's a tough play for a right-hander to make.
Little athleticism from Corey Mazzoni.
He falls off. Now he's going to stop, go back the other direction. Plant your foot on the wet grass and make a throw.
It's been a very moisture-filled series here in Chicago. A lot raining every morning here.
Yeah, every morning you looked out the window and the streets are wet.
Bringing the sea to us. And the goals. Corey Mazzoni on for a second inning of relief, facing Diaz. 2 singles today.
Now, how did these seagulls even find the ballpark today in all this fog?
Well, seagulls have a built-in sonar that I don't know.
I mean, they show up at the end of the game. They're getting ready to go down and eat.
They must.
When everybody leaves, they know there's going to be lots of food lying in between the seats.
Vasquez going to come in and get some work next inning. There's some Bucco fans. They'll leave town likely with a victory.
Definitely looking that way.
Oh, I like her earrings, even the Pirate P earrings. Smile, you're on camera. Fog didn't bother him.
Not at all. He didn't even set down the beer.
That's a skill. Oh, that's nice. Now his brother's going to be mad.
That's better than a catch.
Oh, yeah. Full up on Diaz. Pirates have drawn 6 walks today. Bell, 3 of those. Been on base all 4 times for Josh Bell. He'd love to get another chance. And it hit the ground, says Jansen Visconti.
Foul ball.
Yep. Jimenez tried to sell it. No way. Diaz strikes out. 6-run lead in the 9th. The Cubs to sleep.
Steve, I didn't know he was here.
Oh, good to see. I think someone told him that they made the broadcast. Yeah, that's fun.
No, I have seen Steve dance just like that. That's one of his go-to moves.
That and the lawnmower are his favorites. junior broadcaster there. And a professional pitcher. Felipe Vasquez on for the ninth. A non-save situation. The lefty Rizzo, the switch hitting Happ, and then the lefty Schwarber due up. Edgar Santana, a perfect 1 1/3 after Nova. And Kyle Crick, a 1-2-3 8th inning.
Bullpen looking great. Second game in a row.
Maybe this can start to get the tides turned. Vasquez has been so good against lefties the last couple of years, the best in baseball at limiting left-handed power. And just to get him some work today, so if he throws too many pitches, they got Tyler Glass now in back of him. Three outs away from a Pirate victory. Still 2 strikes on Anthony Rizzo.
Happ on deck. Rizzo's one of those guys that's pretty much in that same spot year after year, gets up on top of the plate. You would think he'd be pretty good at knowing his own personal strike zone in and out.
And J.A., what a play.
Got to pick up all of his stuff now. It's going everywhere. Big smile on his face. Had kind of an unusual error for him earlier, a throwing error on a simple play. This was a Jim Dandy there. Sliding through the wet grass, ball's wet, falling on his backside, and a perfect strike.
And a good stretch by Bell to complete the out. Leadoff man retired in the ninth.
Could have left those sunglasses up in the clubhouse, probably.
Just in case.
I think you really need them out there on the field today.
The thick fog parts. Joe Madden's got him on though today.
Yeah, it's a bright day.
Gray is an elephant today. I mean, it's been foggy and
yeah, the lights have been on the entire day since we got here.
Rainy this morning. Humid, damp,
soggy,
almost dank today. Dungeon-like. You ever go into like an old basement? That's
no, up there scare me.
Yeah,
I stay out of them.
Feels like an old basement today. '98. There's a smile from a Pirate fan. Pirates had a couple of tough defeats to begin this series. Two-run wins. Good pitching, couldn't hit today. They got both working in their favor. And 2 gone in the Cubs' 9th inning.
Pretty good changeup. You can see that circle change grip inside his glove.
1 out away. Getting ready to raise it. Albert Almora will pinch hit. They don't want the lefty Schwarber up there. I was thinking about, Josh Harrison's home run paid multiple dividends because the Cubs, once Hendricks was out after 5, he was wobbly today, but he was still effective. That was the only run he gave up over 5 innings. Because they're trailing, they're not going to bring in their, maybe their ace, their A relievers. And because of that, the Pirates get to Dunsing. They score 4 runs against him. Then it's Farrell and Mazzoni mopping up. They score a run each off of those guys. If it's the other way around, like it was the first couple of days, where they're bringing in their top relievers, maybe they're able to preserve a lead. So just starting the game with a home run might have paid layers of dividends for the Pirates today.
Now, scoring first in baseball, you really can see why that's an advantage, because the different strategies that get put in play when you're behind, when you're trailing, that you wouldn't do when you're ahead. And you look at the numbers, and that normally, unless it's an unusual type year, normally you got a pretty good record when you score first.
Pirates limiting the Cubs to 6 runs in the series. Now look, no one's going to claim that the Pirates taking 1 out of 3 is the greatest thing on earth, but
no, I mean, it's another series loss, but the pitching was very, very good against a good hitting club. So you take your positives where you can get them and move on to Arizona for 3 games and try to keep this pitching going. And heck, you pitch like this, you're not going to be losing 2 out of 3.
No.
It's just not going to happen. Not in the long run. That's what builds winning seasons for teams. Good pitching.
Joe Musgrove will get the ball tomorrow in the Valley of the Sun. Here on the foggy Lakeshore Ballpark, the Pirates will claim victory. Elias Diaz with an RBI and a couple of hits today. Really the tone set by Josh Harrison with that leadoff home run.
Yeah, that really got to go. And he's always been so important to this team in a lot of different ways. We talked about it almost all game. He's a force, kind of a motor inside that dugout during the game, making sure everything is, the enthusiasm level is up there where it should be. Everybody's in it, and he can only do that when he is well and playing.
And he's playing well.
And he's playing well. That's the name of the game.
So the Pirates get the series finale. Head on out to Phoenix. Before that, though, let's head on out and hear from Dan and Michael.